Welcome back to Vital Signs. I am here with our amazing coach Bryan Fetzer, talking all things health, wellness, lifestyle, how to be the absolute best that you can and take control of your greatest asset, your health. I'm going to dive into the topic that has been coming up very frequently, and that's burnout. How do we avoid burnout while we're trying to improve our fitness? How do we avoid also, on the other side of it, injuring ourselves or overuse, which feels very discouraging? We all started the year strong. We dove in, and then we maybe have something that happens. We get back in the gym and we're really struggling. So what are some things that we can do to avoid burnout where we're trying to improve our fitness and continue to make those gains without falling into overtraining?
Well, I think one of the first things you got to do is make sure you know what burnout is. Just because you're not feeling it one day doesn't necessarily mean you're going through burnout. You know, loss of motivation definitely is one. Mood swings is another. Common injuries or injuries that prolong over time. And, restless night sleeps. If you're not getting your right sleep, you're probably burning out a little bit. So once you kind of see those kind of actions that put in place, and you're kind of seeing, how you are, then it's kind of taking the next steps to try to avoid the burnout. A basic, couple of things that you could do. One, take some naps. You know, take some naps. Make sure you're getting the right nutrients in your system. For a female, iron is very important. I've seen many times over years coaching that females that have low iron have a decrease in performance from an athletic standpoint, which translates the same thing over to normal everyday life. Making sure you're getting vitamin D. The best vitamin D is outside in the sun, letting it hit your face, hit your body, enjoying that. But if you don't, or if you're in a situation where you're not getting a lot of vitamin D, make sure you're taking vitamin D supplement. Make sure it's in a good form. Take it with K2, and it's D3. Add zinc to it, magnesium. So you're getting, those are some specific nutrients or vitamins and minerals that are important to take to kind of help avoid the burnout, because when you don't feel very good, that's kind of where it takes place. Getting in a sauna, getting in a nice hot sauna, taking a warm bath, warm shower, great ways to help recover, to kind of decrease the burnout effort. Um, Foam rolling, doing mobility, doing some kind of mobility exercise to kind of loosen the joints, loosen up your muscles so you feel better. The worst thing that ever happened is you work out for the first time in a while, you get really sore, you get, hey, this isn't for me, I don't want to do this, and you get discouraged.
Mhm.
So if you take care of your body a little bit better, it's going to help decrease burnout.
So let's talk about that, because we've just made it through a winter. There's been some nasty bugs going around, and it literally has set people back 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. And then they feel very discouraged and they go back and they want to start back where they were. Talk to us about how to start back up after we've had something like this, because you know as well as I, when we've been through an illness, especially, or even if it's overcoming an injury, our body is not optimal. So what are some things that we should do to make sure that we're set for success, so that we don't overtrain that as we're just getting back into the routine?
Well, it really kind of comes into play. Athletics, if you have an injury in athletics, they bring you back slowly. So you can come back and be ready to perform at your optimal level when you're ready. No difference between, the average Joe, average Jane out there that's just working out. You've got to take time. And if you've been normally working out 3 days a week or 4 days a week and you get sick, come back, work out 2 days a week, and then build it back up over the course of the next couple of weeks. Start off slow. If whatever your weights you've been working out or the amount of time that you've been working out, cut that back. Cut it back in half just to get yourself restarted. I'm a horrible testament to it myself, because if I don't feel good, I take a day off and then boom, I'm back in it. But you should also do something if you are a little bit under the weather. And when I say something, it doesn't mean go work out. Put reps in, lift weights, go for a walk. Just get some movement in, get the blood flowing in your body to help regenerate that process and get the regeneration process going.
I'm gonna ask the next question because you mentioned mobility, and a lot of people don't know the difference between joint mobility and mobility exercises versus, let's say, static stretching. Can you give us a
Right.
little bit of insight into that and why it's so important to focus on mobility exercises? Because we talk a lot
Sure.
about peak human performance, and especially as we get older, it is so incredibly important for us to even stay functional, to focus on that.
Yeah, if you think about mobility, if you think about static stretching is still, mobility is moving. It's an easy way to go the difference between a static stretch, the traditional stretching, and something that's mobile or movable in exercises. Static stretching is research has shown that it honestly is not the best for you because you're basically taking if you take a raw piece of meat and try to cut it, it's a little bit tough to do. But when you heat that meat up and get it at a much warmer state, it's able to cut pretty simple. That's a great kind of analogy to think about when you're talking about muscles. You got to get the muscles moving, you got to get blood flow in them. So doing movement exercises, and there's a wide variety of them. That you can look up online movement exercises or mobility exercises. Those are great opportunities to be able to do things to kind of get things going in place.
I couldn't agree more. And if you think about it at home, it's things that we're not like doing the old school hamstring stretch, hold it for 30 to 60 seconds anymore, folks. What we're doing is we're walking, we're doing some high knee marches, we're doing some things that are getting all of our joints moving. And it's so important because one day we're going to be trying to get on and off the floor and going to realize that, hey, if we didn't do our mobility training, we're not able to actually do that. So it's really important for us, especially now, and it's important as when we're younger to keep that. I want to switch the talk a little bit to the mental health side, if that's okay with you, Bryan, because I know
Yeah.
this is a really big area of your expertise. Can you talk a little bit about the mental health aspect, of overtraining, burnout, getting back into the gym, if you will?
Yeah, the biggest thing is discouragement. You go in and you haven't done something for a little while. You go back in the gym, you go back in and you start working out and you get sore. You get really sore and it doesn't feel good. So what do? Oh, I got to take some time off. And it kind of decreases that thought process that, hey, I want to do this because most people don't like sore. Most people don't like discomfort. Um, and if that's the case, you got to start slow. And with the mental health part, we talked about getting in a group that you can do things together. People that are trying to accomplish the same things you are, you're more apt to have that communal group to be able to do things and stick with it when things aren't going great than it is just to venture out on your own. Get your husband, get your wife to join, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be. Get groups together at work, at lunchtime. Go out and walk, if you've got a little bit of time, just to get together and do things because that's from a mental standpoint, it's going to help motivate you to continue to do. Another thing you can do is journal. Put a journal down and write in it just simple. Hey, felt great today. Had a 2 mile walk. It was awesome. Those are two ways. The other one is using some kind of modality to kind of get your mental health in. I wear a ring, an Aura ring. There's Whoop. There's Apple Watches. There's a plethora now of technologies out there. But it kind of keeps me motivated and keeps me in line and allows me to feel good about my accomplishments that I'm doing personally to kind of keep me going along, which then plays into the mental health part and makes me more encouraged.
I'm over here giggling a little bit because I have a Hume scale and I use it because I'm very focused on hydration.
Right.
Hydration is a big area where I live in the South. I'm a woman of a certain age. It's hard to stay hydrated. And so it tells us and it counts your steps and it has our goal. And if I'm not there and it's 8 o'clock at night, I go, oh, I've got 2,000 steps
Yeah.
to get back in. Come on, babe, we got to do this. And if it's raining outside, I'm walking around my house. So you're absolutely
Yeah.
right when we have something like that to kind of kick us in the butt and remind us where we need to go. It's a goal, it's something to strive for, and it's something to feel good about once you get there. So I really like that you brought that up. It was really key. So I just want to kind of highlight a couple of things that we've talked about with Bryan because it's really important. Get community, get an accountability buddy, do exercise with people. And if you are coming back from an injury or from an illness, or you haven't been in the gym for a while, Make sure you start slow. We can't start where we left off. That's what sets us up for disappointment, discouragement. Start slow. It's okay. It's not a failure. It just means that you're getting back in the saddle, and you'll be really happy to know that when you start slow, you are set for inevitable success. Thank you so much for your expertise today, Bryan. How can people reach out to you if they'd like to learn more?
Hey, they can go to our website, ironfaithnutrition.com. They can get me on LinkedIn or any social media to at Coach Fetz on most all the social medias. And then they can always shoot us an email at info@ironfaithnutrition.com, and I can reach out to them and kind of help out.
That sounds great. And we have just about 10 more seconds. Give me the one thing you wish that people would know when they're getting back in the saddle.
It's okay to start slow. You're not going to accomplish your goal in the first session. It takes time. And if you stick with it and make it a lifestyle choice as opposed to just a fad, you're going to be in good situation.
Fantastic. Thank you for your expertise today, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And we are due for a brief break. We will be back after these brief messages. See you shortly.